Connecting a dryer using a 2-wire cable with a bare ground is a violation of the National Electrical Code, or NEC. The NEC mandates that dryers be connected using a 3-wire cable configuration. The primary reason for this requirement centers around safety and the proper grounding of the appliance. The third wire in the 3-wire cable serves as the equipment grounding conductor. This conductor provides a dedicated path for fault current to flow back to the electrical source in the event of an electrical fault within the dryer. This grounding path is crucial for protecting against electrical shock hazards. Dryers typically incorporate a 120-volt timer for controlling the appliance's various functions. When the timer is operational, it introduces a 120-volt load that, without a proper grounding conductor, could potentially energize the dryer's chassis or other metallic parts. This creates a shock hazard if someone were to come into contact with the dryer while it's operating. The equipment grounding conductor ensures that any fault current from the timer or other components is safely routed back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker or fuse and energizing the circuit. The NEC also has a general requirement that all electrical appliances be grounded. Grounding provides a low impedance path for fault current, minimizing the risk of electrical shock and fire. In a 2-wire system with a bare ground, the grounding conductor is not isolated from the neutral conductor at the receptacle. This can lead to current flowing through the grounding conductor under normal operating conditions, which is undesirable and can create a potential for nuisance tripping of ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, if they are present in the circuit. A dedicated equipment grounding conductor, as required by the 3-wire system, eliminates this issue by providing a separate and isolated path for fault current. It's important to emphasize that electrical codes are in place to protect people and property from electrical hazards. Ignoring these codes can have serious consequences, including electrical shock, fire, and even death. When installing or modifying electrical circuits, it's always best to consult with a qualified electrician who is familiar with the NEC and local electrical codes. They can ensure that the work is done safely and in compliance with all applicable regulations. The NEC is updated regularly to reflect changes in technology and best practices for electrical safety. It's important to stay up to date with the latest version of the code to ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant. Always consult the most recent edition of the NEC for the most accurate and up-to-date information. The codebook provides detailed requirements for wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and other aspects of electrical installations. In addition to the NEC, local jurisdictions may have their own electrical codes and regulations. These local codes may be more stringent than the NEC in some cases, so it's important to be aware of them. Your local building department or electrical inspector can provide you with information about local electrical codes. The 3-wire system for dryers is a fundamental safety requirement that should never be compromised. It provides essential protection against electrical shock and fire hazards. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical wiring or appliance installation, always seek the advice of a qualified electrician. They can help you ensure that your electrical system is safe and compliant with all applicable codes and regulations. Attempting to perform electrical work without the proper knowledge and experience can be dangerous and can lead to serious injury or property damage. If you are replacing an existing dryer receptacle, be sure to use the correct type of receptacle for the wiring configuration. If you are upgrading from a 2-wire system to a 3-wire system, you will need to run a new 3-wire cable from the circuit breaker panel to the receptacle. This is a task that should be performed by a qualified electrician. In summary, connecting a dryer with a 2-wire cable with a bare ground is a violation of the NEC and is a safety hazard. The 3-wire system with a dedicated equipment grounding conductor is essential for protecting against electrical shock and fire. Always consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work to ensure that it is done safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. It's very important to note that electrical work is regulated by local authorities, often mirroring or adapting the National Electrical Code. Ignoring these regulations is illegal and unsafe. It is crucial to have any electrical work, including dryer hookups, inspected by local authorities to ensure compliance and safety. Improper dryer hookups are a significant fire hazard. Lint buildup inside and around the dryer can easily ignite if there's a spark from a faulty connection or overloaded circuit. Regular cleaning of the lint trap and exhaust duct is crucial to prevent fires. A qualified electrician can also inspect the dryer's venting system to ensure it is properly installed and free of obstructions. Beyond the electrical code, dryers should be installed according to the manufacturer's instructions. This includes proper venting, clearance from combustible materials, and leveling of the appliance. Failure to follow these instructions can void the warranty and create safety hazards. When in doubt, always consult the dryer's owner's manual or contact the manufacturer for guidance. The equipment grounding conductor not only protects against electrical shock, but also minimizes electromagnetic interference, or EMI. EMI can disrupt the operation of sensitive electronic devices and appliances. A properly grounded dryer helps to reduce EMI and ensure proper operation of other electronic equipment in the home. While the 3-wire system is the standard for dryer connections, there are some older homes that may still have 2-wire systems. In these cases, it is possible to install a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, circuit breaker to provide some level of protection. However, a GFCI circuit breaker is not a substitute for a dedicated equipment grounding conductor and should only be used as a temporary solution until the wiring can be upgraded. A qualified electrician can assess the situation and recommend the best course of action. If you are planning to purchase a new dryer, be sure to check the electrical requirements before you buy it. Some dryers may require a different voltage or amperage than what is currently available in your home. A qualified electrician can help you determine if your electrical system needs to be upgraded to accommodate the new dryer. Remember that electrical safety is not something to take lightly. It is always best to err on the side of caution and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns. By following the NEC and local electrical codes, you can help ensure that your home is safe from electrical hazards. The importance of proper wire gauge is often overlooked. The circuit must be wired with a wire gauge suitable for the amperage of the dryer. Using too small of a wire gauge can cause overheating and a fire hazard. The appropriate wire gauge is specified in the NEC and should be followed carefully. Another crucial aspect is the proper connection of the wires to the receptacle and circuit breaker. Loose or corroded connections can create resistance, which generates heat and can lead to a fire. The connection should be tight and clean, and the correct type of connectors should be used. The type of receptacle and circuit breaker used should also be appropriate for the dryer's voltage and amperage. Using the wrong type of components can create a safety hazard. The NEC specifies the correct types of receptacles and circuit breakers to use for different applications. In addition to the electrical connections, the dryer's venting system is also critical for safety. The vent should be made of rigid metal or flexible metal duct and should be as short and straight as possible. Plastic or vinyl vents are not recommended because they can easily collapse and create a fire hazard. The vent should also be cleaned regularly to remove lint buildup. Lint buildup can restrict airflow, causing the dryer to overheat and potentially start a fire. When running a new dryer circuit, it is important to properly label the circuit breaker in the electrical panel. This will make it easier to identify the circuit in the future and can prevent someone from accidentally turning off the wrong breaker. The label should clearly indicate that the breaker is for the dryer. It is also important to ensure that the dryer is properly leveled. An unleveled dryer can vibrate excessively, which can damage the appliance and create a safety hazard. Most dryers have adjustable feet that can be used to level the appliance. If you are not comfortable performing electrical work yourself, it is always best to hire a qualified electrician. Electricians have the training and experience necessary to perform electrical work safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. They can also identify potential hazards that you may not be aware of. When hiring an electrician, be sure to check their credentials and make sure they are licensed and insured. You can also ask for references from previous customers. Remember that electrical safety is a shared responsibility. By following these guidelines, you can help ensure that your home is safe from electrical hazards. In addition to the NEC, there are other organizations that provide guidance on electrical safety. These organizations include the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, and the Underwriters Laboratories, or ALL. The NFPA develops codes and standards for fire safety, including the NEC. UL tests and certifies electrical products to ensure that they meet safety standards. When purchasing electrical products, look for the UL listing mark to ensure that they have been tested and certified for safety. Also, many dryer timers are electronic nowadays. An electronic timer may have more components and require better isolation than an older mechanical timer. While the basic 120-volt requirement for the dryer remains, the electronic components can become damaged with improper grounding. When installing a new dryer, consider surge protection. A surge protector can help to protect the dryer's electronic components from damage caused by power surges. Power surges can be caused by lightning, power outages, or other electrical events. A surge protector can absorb the surge and prevent it from reaching the dryer. The surge protector should be installed at the circuit breaker panel or at the receptacle. Finally, remember that electrical codes and regulations are constantly evolving. It is important to stay up to date with the latest changes to ensure that your electrical system is safe and compliant. You can subscribe to electrical industry publications or attend electrical safety seminars to stay informed.